Now back to our top story this morning, the verdict in the sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, the former Jeffrey Epstein associate convicted by a federal jury on 5 of 6 counts, facing now up to 65 years behind bars. Joining us live now is one of Maxwell's victims, Annie Farmer, and her attorney, Sigrid McCauley. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Annie, let's start with you. This has been a very long journey for you. You were 16 years old when you met Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. It's now been almost 20 years since you first tried to speak out about your abuse, but for years you were discounted, ignored, or simply just not believed. So how does it feel now to finally have this verdict?
It's a tremendous relief to be here. I wasn't sure that this day would ever come, and I just feel so grateful that the jury believed us and sent a strong message that perpetrators of sexual abuse and exploitation will be held accountable no matter how much power and privilege that they have.
And Sigrid, what was your reaction, and what does this mean in the bigger sense for the many other women who have alleged their lives were also damaged by Maxwell?
It's really a historic moment in the history of sexual trafficking. What you've seen here is a jury who took it upon themselves to believe in these victims, hear their voices, and render a verdict that told the American public that regardless of power, privilege, whether you're a president or a prince, you will be held accountable if you engage in sexual trafficking.
Such a strong message about accountability here. And Annie, from day one, you have spoken out under your own name. In fact, the only survivor to do so in court in this case. Why? Why make that decision?
Well, honestly, I was pretty reticent to do that after, what happened in 2002, not being believed by the media. But I think ultimately seeing the inspirational stories of other women like Virginia Giuffre and Sarah Ransom and Courtney Wild, all these women that were coming forward publicly using their names, telling about what had happened to them and creating momentum for criminal charges to be filed. I felt like it was the time for me to do so. And I understand completely why it might not have been the right time for others. So I think it's really important that women don't have to do that. But for me, it felt like it was the right time, and it was important to be able to do so.
And it sends such a strong message. Annie, you are a psychologist. You treat people who have suffered trauma, people like yourself. What did it mean to be able to take the stand and speak out publicly on behalf of yourself, but also for so many other survivors like those that you treat?
It meant a lot. I think one thing that, having the privilege of hearing so many stories from the people that I work with, I have really recognized that it's a very rare opportunity to be able to be in court and tell your story and to see the person that perpetrated the abuse held accountable. And so I definitely felt like that was not just for me, but for so many of the other people involved in this case that didn't have that opportunity, and also for the many people that I've worked with and that I've known and that have contacted me to say, I didn't get that chance, and thank you for speaking out.
Giving them all a chance that they may not have themselves. So when you think about this in the bigger sense, is this justice? Does this feel like enough, especially after so many years and your own long personal journey?
I think justice is a complicated term, but I was speaking with another Epstein survivor last night, and I think she said it well. She said this is one important step towards justice. And I think, in this particular case, we know there were other people involved and other perpetrators, and we certainly hope that there will continue to be investigations so that other people will be held accountable for the ways that they abused people. And then I think just in a wider sense, we have a lot of work to do in this country in terms of holding people accountable and educating about things like grooming. I didn't know when I was 16, I had no idea, I'd never heard that term, and I didn't understand what was happening to me, this combination of, being given gifts and being given positive attention, and then also having this abuse and these boundary violations. So I think we have a lot of work to do, and I hope to be able to be a part of that work to continue to educate people about this and hold people accountable.
Certainly a lot of work still to come, but this is a very big moment indeed. Thank you both so much for being here. Sigrid McCauley, Annie Farmer, thank you for your courage and for joining us this morning. Janae.
And we certainly do applaud her courage, Mary.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.